First on Radio 4, Penny Marshall has been following a group of boys and girls who signed up at 16 through their year of army training. Today, the junior soldiers take on their final challenge before they graduate from the Army Foundation College and start their new lives as fully fledged soldiers. And for some, the front line is a matter of months away.
It's a soggy, damp July day on the moors of Gaylockehead, Scotland, and the junior soldiers of 7 Platoon are out on their final training exercise.
Do you want me to check the other side of the road?
Captain Catherine Ferguson is keeping a watchful eye on the youngsters as they navigate their way over the moors to a local village.
Sorry, mate.
Junior soldier Tom Cook, the lead scout, is taking his responsibilities seriously.
Want me to stop at this point?
Just as we're patrolling along our route, straight ahead of me you can quite clearly see there's a piece of orange mine tape attached to a tree, and in our briefs and our orders we were told plenty of times that the insurgents that we're facing like to use the weapon of choice of the IED. So things like that stand out. Obviously it could be like an aiming marker, so if somebody comes patrolling along this road, an insurgent can have eyes on that position. As soon as we patrol past it, he can detonate the IED, and obviously that would be a bad day for us.
This 5-day exercise is meant to recreate the conditions British troops face in Afghanistan. Tom Cook thinks he spotted the telltale signs of an improvised explosive device, or IED.
The grass and the reeds have been disturbed up there, and you can clearly see where the moss on the bank has been scraped away, and there's just bare soil showing.
Yeah, I think that's just someone's feet, just slipped off it. Your call, mate, you've seen it.
You can't be too careful, can you? Because if he's saying, oh, well, it might just be where somebody slipped. Yeah, it might be, but it might not. It might be an IED. And yes, this is only a training exercise, but in real life, you wouldn't want to be the one that took that risk, would you?
Zero, this is 1-2 Charlie. We have reached RV1 over.
Over the year I've been following these recruits who signed up at 16. I've been constantly struck by how young they are. Teenagers, like my own, who would still be studying if they'd stayed on at school rather than learning how to spot suspected IEDs on a roadside. Britain has the youngest army in Europe.
More than 130 states in the world now have set 18 or above as their minimum recruiting age, and now fewer than 20 countries recruit at 16. And in recruiting at 16, we find ourselves in the company of the likes of Iran and North Korea.
Richard Clark is the director of Child Soldiers International, which campaigns to prevent the use of children in armed forces globally. He'd like to see the enrolment age for British recruits rise to 18.
It's remarkable, the list of things that someone in the UK under 18 can't do. You can't sit on a jury, you can't sign a legal contract, you can't join the police or the fire service, you can't buy fireworks, you can't buy alcohol. The list goes on, and yet here we are recruiting 16-year-olds into our armed forces, and by their training and development, channeling them towards some of the most high-risk occupations within our armed forces. Most of the young people who go into Harrogate are going to end up either in the infantry or in the logistics corps or in the artillery or in the armoured corps. And most of those will see frontline duty in places like Afghanistan.
Although the army won't send these recruits to the front line until they turn 18, many who graduate from the college could be deployed to Afghanistan in a matter of months. Some of those I'm following will be amongst the last British soldiers in Afghanistan ahead of next year's withdrawal. I asked Captain Will Sutton, their company commander, why the army likes to train them so young.
The real quality part of getting them this young is being able to develop that talent early. We have some dramas with the fact that they are so young. There's still immaturity there, so we have to deal with that. But then the much more positive part is the fact that you can harness all that talent potential in a young person early, at the age of 16, 17, and then really bring them on, and they can get literacy and numeracy qualifications here, which will aid them when they're looking to get promoted in, say, 5-8 years' time. So yeah, catching them early, you can just turn them into these incredible soldiers at what is a fairly young age.
They haven't got all the bad habits from civilian street of being so self-centred and everything else. And we mould them into the core values of the British Army, and they make really good soldiers.
Carl Gardner, Regimental Sergeant Major of the Army Foundation College, joined up at 16 himself and sees its value.
Not a coincidence the fact that such a high percentage of Regimental Sergeant Majors of the Army is ex-junior soldiers themselves.
It helps to get them so young.
It definitely helps because they're still learning and they take on the ethos of the British Army a lot easier than what somebody will at 24, 25 who's had a few years of bad habits in civvy.
Alright mate, might be worth getting a 2IC to do a 10-9er, over.
Back in the field, and the junior soldiers have decided what to do about the suspected IED.
So we've confirmed that it's an IED now. All we need to do is clear the area, cordon it off, and then control it by setting up cordons, making sure nobody goes in and out of the area within 200 metres of the suspect device.
Okay, right, if we do come under contact from the front, Charlie on the left and Delta immediately on the right. So then you've baselines formed and there's no cluster, yeah?
At this stage in their training, the recruits are being encouraged to take more decisions on their own. Yet they're still being observed by a staff member, and Corporal Alicia Jarman is on hand to give advice.
I think they've improved a lot since the last exercise. The last exercise they probably would have walked straight past it. So they seem much more situational aware now, because now it's left to them. They're treating everything with real care, if you know what I mean. Are you stuck in a ditch?
Yeah, Louis got up, but she's not replying to any of my messages.
Roger, stay there, over.
Right, Taylor, are you out the ditch, over?
Yeah, I radioed you 5 minutes ago, 10 your mark, over.
Right, crack on, over.
So there's a bit of lack of communication going on, because obviously the terrain, if people are getting stuck and falling over and that, so they're getting frustrated because they're taking out on each other. Hodgson, are you going to let everyone come up here and catch up? Because look at where your last man is.
Corporal Jarman's role is primarily to train the soldiers, although she's aware that because they're still minors, her relationship with them is unique.
We teach them everything from skillet arms, weapon handling, drill. We teach them hygiene. We work where they live, where they sleep at night. So we're there on call no matter what. So not only do we teach, we also are like a counsellor or their mum or their dad or brother or sister. So yeah, we're quite close because we get to know them over a year and we live so close with them.
When you're looking after the junior soldiers, do you see them as children or adults?
This is like balance that you've got to keep with them. You've got to keep this discipline, so there's a bit of, they know the line and not to cross it, but yet, if they are in state and you need to talk to me, you need to step back into the surrogate mother role or father role and build a rapport with them and get to know, what's up with them so that they can approach you. You can't put so much fear into them that they think, oh, I don't want to speak to my section commander, because then you've got welfare issues and you're not aware of them. The clue is you're in this grid square, yeah?
Yeah.
So, and you know that you've got a full to your left.
Yeah, pylons in front of us.
The village the patrol's heading to today is populated by other junior soldiers who'll be acting out the roles of local civilians. Their plan is, once they arrive, to meet someone pretending to be a village elder.
Where are you going?
Jeff, get down.
But the patrol seems to have lost its way.
There's a broken down
Wait,
tree there.
ladies, I'm not going to have a mass discussion about it. Where are you going? What's making you go all the way back up there?
Chief Navigator Tom Cook has taken the patrol the wrong way.
Sounds stupid now looking back on it, but instead of deciding to go down the hill and see if I could cross level, we decided to go back up the hill onto the road and back down again. Bit embarrassed about that, but at least we're here now, so.
Can I speak to the village elder, please? Yeah.
With the pretend village finally located, the patrol now meets the village elder. This is a test of the soldiers' diplomacy and negotiation skills.
Sit, my friend.
Has anyone been kicking about?
No, we've seen no one.
No one?
Just the regular villagers.
Just the regulars.
But it's sometimes difficult to remember that they could be doing this for real in a few months.
Come see you today. Want to let you know that we are here to help and that we are not bad people. We are trying to help you.
As the soldiers prepare to leave, they come under a simulated attack and there's panic. Some of them don't know what to do, and Corporal Jarman has to regain control.
What's going on, Hodgson? Are we still required?
Guys, you've gone, no.
So what do you need to do?
Right, we'll start pushing back to the pick-up area. Go.
Tom Cook has been briefed to feign injury.
Is anyone talking to him? Just letting him lie there. Just let him lie there, doing nothing. Who's covering? Right, Lister, what could you be doing? Are you actually helping there? What's that? A vulnerable point? The section commander is not really communicating with anyone. I think he's in a flap. Doesn't really understand what's going on himself. So it's a bit of a mess.
11!
The junior soldiers have to take the injured Tom Cook out of the area, an exercise known as a Kazivac, which in this case means carrying him on their ponchos 2 kilometres up to the road to their pickup point.
In an Afghan scenario, you're looking at the equivalent of somebody being Kazivac'd out after a contact by the other members of the patrol before they go on a helicopter back to Bastion.
We're getting out of here nicely. Look, first truck, and we're going to get out of here.
Jade Hunter from Northern Ireland is trying to help. She's been taking a lead in reassuring the injured Tom Cook and is doing well in the exercise.
We're going to be fine, mate. Trust me. You're going to be fine. We're there now, okay?
When I first met her, in the early weeks of her training, she told me she'd kept her army career secret from many people back home. So I wondered what her attitude was now, after nearly a year's training, towards the people she's left behind.
There's a big difference between some people my age back home and the people that are here with me now. Everybody wants to move on, have a life, instead of being in the same place, doing the same things. It's far better.
Do you think about back home in Northern Ireland very much and how different you are now to your friends there?
Yeah, I do. When I went back to visit, I visited my old high school, and just people aren't doing anything these days. Nobody's got a job or they've moved on. Maybe it's just because the army's fast living life. It's good.
3, 2, 1. There.
You get to travel around many different countries, doing different things, experiencing different things, learning so much.
Do you feel grown up now after all the experiences you had?
Oh yeah, I've definitely matured in Harrogate. I'm not dependent to home or clingy to home or going to cry about coming away from home again, you know what I mean? You want to have a list of all these things I've done and be able to go back home and tell them what I've done.
21:45. Yeah, I've got a pin up.
Okay, you're going to be alright, mate, right? TCV's going to be here in any minute soon.
Jade is one of just 48 female recruits training at the college out of a total of nearly 1,400. So women are in the minority here, just as they are in the British Army as a whole.
Check his pulse.
Currently, women can join any army regiment except the infantry and the Royal Armoured Corps, and they're prevented from intentionally serving on the front line. The nature of modern warfare, though, means they're often exposed to danger.
It's hard being a female in the army because we've got our respect to earn. I don't agree with that at all, but it's always going to be a thing with the women.
Junior soldier Abby Kirk had told me on day one that she was a tracksuit, hair-up kind of person, so I wondered how she was getting on in such a male-dominated environment.
Men have this ego to not let a woman beat them, and they hate it. They hate it when we beat them. Like PT and stuff, obviously females aren't as good as the males. So it's like drop side comments and sexist comments at us. And you just have to fight them back.
Commander of 7 Platoon, Captain Will Sutton.
It's a difficult situation for women joining the army. You know, majority of the army is male. It's a tough career. So the girls that do join, you know, we do just give them as much encouragement as we can. Sometimes they find it a struggle. But you know, you find some of them are just as determined as the blokes. If they have a doubt, you know, I mean, men and women are essentially different. But, you know, half our staff in this platoon are female. And you've got a couple of tough young female corporals. And so they set the example, really. And the girls want to follow that.
Get moving with your bargains. Get one line next to this wall. Losing my patience with you lot.
The final exercise is drawing to a close, and Sergeant Andy Harden is making sure the junior soldiers have all the kit they need in their Bergens, their army backpacks. They need to pack up and move on. But the junior soldiers are flagging, and Captain Sutton can see signs of fatigue setting in.
One straight line next to your kit so we get your admin sorted.
Sleep deprivation is a big part of exercise, and certainly, from having done all the patrols so far, it's been fairly broken sleep. So a lot of them only had maybe 3 hours a night. Done an early morning patrol this morning. Some of them were out at 0400 and only got back in at, say, 7:30.
Everyone now check, you've got a roll map. Anyone not got a roll map?
Discipline slips a bit, so they just start being sort of jack in terms of carrying the right kit and just physical fatigue on patrol, and you've just got to stay on top of that and obviously work them hard.
Everyone complete on roll mats? Everyone complete on roll mats?
Yes, Sergeant.
So everyone now has got a Gore-Tex jacket, yes?
Yes, Sergeant.
We've been here it feels like for too long now, and you still get treated like a child. You know, you're told to like use your initiative and try and be a leader and stuff, and yet you have like every single part of your life is near enough micromanaged, so it's quite difficult at times.
Do you think you've lost anything, the old person, Tom Cook?
Sometimes it's nice to have that part of your life that you always know what you're going to be doing next, and everything's scheduled and regimental. But sometimes when you just want to, sometimes you wake up, especially on a Monday morning, and if you were at school or something, you could go, yeah, I'm not going to school, I'm just chilling out, I'm calling a sickie. It doesn't work here. You have to get up, and you're told when to get up, what to do when you get up, what's happening after you get up, what to wear, where to go. You can start noticing that when you come here. After about 6 months or something, you'll go back home, and your parents might say to you, "Oh, what do you want to do today?" And you look at them like that. I haven't got absolutely any idea what I want to do today. Not a clue, because you haven't been told you're doing this. You sort of get up, and then you get given the choice, and it takes you a good half an hour to think of something to do. You sort of forget how to choose what you're doing.
With the final exercise completed, the end is in sight for our junior soldiers. They're about to graduate, and back at the college, I've come to speak to Abby Kirk. Unfortunately, she has dislocated her shoulder twice in training and so won't be graduating. And she's had to be medically discharged from the Army. She's devastated.
Very sorry to hear.
I found her at the Army Foundation College's rehabilitation unit.
I got told by my platoon sergeant that I would have got a junior sergeant in my platoon if I obviously didn't injure myself. So, yeah, it is heartbreaking.
Do you feel like a civilian now?
No, because I've learnt so much. When I'd go home on leave, I'd be sitting there talking about what I did on exercise and what I did with my rifle or something like that, and they'd be talking about packing shelves in Asda or Waitrose or something like that. So yeah, but I've got to get used to listening to them as well, obviously, because I'm going to have to do it.
Tomorrow, Abby and the other injured junior soldiers will attend the parade, but they will not be able to pass out with their platoons.
We're on the parade until the inspection, and after the inspection we come off, and then we sit on the side. And then they have to march around the parade square, so when they're marching around, they will look at us out the corner of their eye. So it's quite humiliating to sit there while they're marching with a rifle, but it's not my fault, so I can't help it and I can't do anything. It's a frustrating part of it. But I'm injured, I've got to get over it.
You just want to be a soldier?
Yeah.
They've destroyed it.
We're up in 7th Platoon's barracks, and this is the last night they're going to sleep here after a very long year. And there's a strange, almost party-like atmosphere, really. It's the night before their graduation ceremony, the night before they leave. And they're having pizza rather than what they call scoff in the dining room. But even as this lot get ready to pass out tomorrow, The section commanders are busy scrubbing the walls, taking down the posters, taking all signs, really, that they were ever here away, and getting ready for the next lot. Because no sooner have one group of junior soldiers passed through and into the ranks than a next group of school leavers arrives to be moulded into the next generation of fighters in the British Army.
Graduation day has finally arrived. After 42 long, tough weeks of training, 636 junior soldiers are passing out in front of their family and friends. Amongst their number are Jade Hunter, Tom Cook and Dean Pickles, 3 people I've been following since day one.
You've gone from a civilian job, and then you're working from 6 in the morning till 6 at night, and you're doing PT, military studies and all that, and you're knackered by the end of the day. But yeah, it's rewarding though. It's definitely changed my life.
Dean Pickles has done well. He'll now go on to the Royal School of Artillery at Larkhill, and he's due to be deployed to Afghanistan as soon as he finishes.
Training would be wasted if you didn't go on tour.
Do you talk about it as junior soldiers a lot amongst yourselves? But
yeah, you have the banter, like all the infantry and like the artillery go, oh yeah, well you're not going to be doing this, you're not going to be doing that, and then the banter goes on. But yeah, you talk about it quite a lot. But obviously we don't know ourselves yet. But I'll be witnessing it in about a few months' time, so looking forward to it.
The prize for the best junior soldier of the Royal Logistics Corps is awarded the Conductor's Cup. It goes to Junior Sergeant Hunter, Category Captain.
Jade Hunter has distinguished herself, winning the prize for the best Royal Logistic Corps graduate for this intake. She will now complete specialist driver training.
For a female, I've worked hard because I haven't failed anything this year. I've completed as much as the lads have. I didn't let myself down. I've had 0 days on the sick. I haven't been sick yet, and I'm in pain.
you're almost saying for a girl I've done quite well considering I'm a girl.
Yeah, I know it sounds a bit like that, but it's hard to compete against an infantry lot. You have to push yourself to beat them, and that's what our corporal always says. You have to beat the lads, or you're going to let yourself down, because it's a man's army, really. So you've got to meet their standards too, and beat them.
And I remember meeting you all those months ago. You've changed, clearly. How would you say you've changed?
I want more out of life now. I want to progress and go on more in the army. When I leave here, I want to go on tour next year, hopefully, or else get based outside of the UK.
Do you think about going to Afghanistan at all? It's on the horizon, isn't it, for you now?
Yeah, basically this place sets you up for all the basics. And then when you leave here, you'll learn a bit more and do your pre-deployment, and then you'll be ready for it. So I don't really think about it. It's just something you'll probably just do. You'll not think about it. Don't know till the time comes, do you really? Don't know.
But that's the reality of what you're training for, isn't it? War.
Yeah, pretty much.
You say you don't really think about it very much?
I know I don't seem to think about it, but if the job's there to be done, it has to be done, doesn't it? It's what I've signed up for. I know everybody says that's a common sort of word, but I suppose you just need to do whatever you've got to do.
Junior soldier Tom Cook's also done well, and he's off to learn how to drive scimitar armoured vehicles for the Queen's Royal Lancers.
You must be so proud. Yeah, I'm incredibly proud of him. Yeah, he's done really well.
I asked Tom and his mother Julie if he had any concerns about what lies ahead.
We're called Crows, which is Combat Recruits of War. So yeah, it definitely brings it back to you when you hear things like that. You are actually training to be a soldier, and obviously we do know the risks that are involved. We're not completely stupid, but we do know what we're letting ourselves in for, and we're all well up for it.
I think it probably helps the fact they can talk to the permanent staff that have already been out there and done it, and I think the permanent staff have been amazing.
So yeah, it is really helpful when you get stories from them and you ask advice and things like that, because they do know what they're on about.
I'm sure that those I'm watching pass out have learnt physical strength and mental resolve, but I'm still not sure that at the moment they're much more than teenagers with dreams of war. 7 Platoon Trainer Corporal Nathan Cole.
They ask the questions like, and you just say the same old thing. You just have to work till you get out there.
And are some of them really longing to get out there?
Some more than others, but don't be too eager to get yourself out there. It can work.
What's impressed me is that this year really has been about these teenagers' own determination to see it through as they've been moulded into soldiers and drilled into the army. Today their families are here to celebrate the emergence of a new adult person in uniform. But in some, I have to say I can still see the child. We have the youngest army in Europe, and junior soldiers are considered essential to its future. There are currently no plans to change this. Richard Clark from Child Soldiers International again.
Recruitment at 16 is out of step. It's out of step with the way we perceive education in this country. Legislation is coming in that will make it compulsory for children to stay on at school until they're 18 by the year 2015. And already more than 94% of children stay on until they're 18. There's a £50,000 plus surcharge for each junior recruit. Now add on to that the higher dropout rates among junior recruits, and you'll face a situation where the additional cost of recruiting 16 and 17-year-olds is between 81.5 and 94 million pounds annually. And you are doing that by recruiting children who cannot be deployed by law to battlefields. You are paying that extra surcharge, but getting a reduction in your operational capability.
At times, I've wondered if signing up at 16 is too young, and whether the youthful idealism of some of the recruits is being exploited. But perhaps youthful idealism is part of the courage that's needed to drive an army onwards. Either way, there's plenty of it on display here today. For now, the battlefields seem a very long way away.
The series was presented by Penny Marshall and produced by Melissa Fitzgerald. It was a Blakeway production for BBC Radio 4.